faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. What a great way to end the regular season for the 49ers at Levi Stadium with the victory. Obviously, we know we got one game left against the LA Rams in LA, but what a great win at home in front of the fans. And Trey Lance made his debut at home, or I should say his first start at home in front of the fans. What a great victory for the 49ers. It was great to see Trey Lance out there. He's not a finished product. He threw that early interception, but he was very accurate with his throws. He was able to maneuver in the pocket and extend plays, something that we see Russell Wilson do all the time, something that we see Kyler Murray do all the time. It was good to see our quarterback be able to do that on a consistent basis. And I'm giving my credit to the Houston Texans. They played tough. The Houston Texans played like they did the last two games that they had won against the Jags and the Chargers. So huge shout out credit goes to the Houston Texans. They did not lay down. They came in ready to play, and they wanted to win this game, no doubt. And the first half was the first half 49ers offense was hard to watch at times. We couldn't really get a rhythm. The running game really wasn't there as consistent as I thought it would be going up against this Houston Texans run defense that was one of the worst in the NFL. But fortunately, the 49ers defense, they kept us in the game, that's for sure. Texans didn't have that many big plays. There were penalties on both sides of the ball that hurt the respective teams, but the 49ers got a win, and it was great to see Trey Lance out there. We definitely saw the effect of Elijah Mitchell being healthy in this lineup. He definitely helped the running game overall, I would say. And man, it was great to see him out there. Shout out to everyone watching Jay in the Bay YouTube, Jay in the Bay Twitter. Thanks for tuning in to the stream tonight. This show is, I can't do this show alone. This show is all about the fans, the people in them comments. Let's say what's up to the people in them comments. So first we have Niner Faithful. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Niner Faithful says, real rusty start for Trey, but that was expected. A nice W for Trey Area. Yeah, he was definitely rusty, but it's like, what do you expect? Just to people who think he wouldn't be rusty, or people who thought he would just come in and throw for 300 yards or whatever. But he hasn't played. He hasn't played since Arizona. That was in October, so 2 months ago. But we definitely saw when he's like a car. You got to warm him up, and once he gets warmed up, he's ready to go. He definitely played well. I definitely saw why Trey Lance was drafted number 3 overall by the 49ers, why we traded up to get him, because if this is his starting point, he played much better than he played against the Arizona Cardinals. And the game plan, I felt like was different. It wasn't the exact same game plan. I believe Trey only ran the ball about 8 times. So, it was good to see him there. Obviously, when we played against the Cardinals, I don't think Kittle was playing. I'm not sure about Elijah Mitchell. He probably was playing, and Kittle wasn't even a huge factor, but he definitely helped in pass blocking situations and run blocking situations. But I definitely like the connection between Trey and the IU show. That was definitely good to see. IU, he's definitely proving that he is an up and coming receiver for sure. And I'm glad that his issues that he had with Shanahan are in the past. We got Redder for the Steelers fan. What's good? Redder says, great performance, man. Hey, I appreciate the kind words, man. It's definitely great to see Trey Lance out there. It'll be interesting to see who's going to start next week against some good old LA Rams. That's definitely going to be a must-win game because the Saints beat the Panthers today. So the seeding is not established yet as far as in the NFC for the 49ers. We need to beat the Rams, but I've seen some scenarios where we don't need to beat the Rams. But if the Falcons beat the Saints, we're in. So obviously we put ourselves in this situation with the erratic play. losing 4 straight games at one point in the season. You know, definitely losing to teams because of turnovers and things like that. But um, we're in a good position right now. All we gotta do is beat the Rams, and I'm not saying that's an easy task or anything like that, but we've done it before. And it will be a great matchup. It's probably going to be flexed into prime time. I'm pretty sure. Salty Jimmy lovers in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. I appreciate everyone who's in the stream. Appreciate if you hit that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Salty Jimmy Lover says the game looked like it was slowing down for Trey in the second half. Absolutely. And I think for the most part, the 49ers offensive line did a good job in protecting Trey. He didn't really have to. He did maneuver in the pocket. He did have to do that. I noticed early on in the first half. The second half, he had more time to throw, I feel. And it was good to see Trey being able to maneuver. And, he's not a stick figure back there. Obviously, he can move around in the pocket. He can make some plays with his legs because we're so used to seeing Russell Wilson do that and Kyler Murray. So, yeah, definitely Trey. He got warmed up. He definitely looked a little bit better in the second half. I think those were his 2 touchdown throws in the second half to Debo and Elijah Mitchell. So definitely good to see. And the future, no doubt, is very bright for the 49ers. We got Dan Castillo in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Dan. He says Trey was more comfortable in the second half. Good game. Yes, I agree. The first half, I don't think he was bad. I mean, he threw the INT. It just looked like the Niners offense couldn't really get into a rhythm. It wasn't like he was inaccurate or anything like that. I mean, he threw the INT, but he was hitting his receivers for the most part. And I like the game plan. We tried to establish the run. We were able to run the ball. Not to the effect of averaging 8 yards per carry or anything like that, but as the game went along, we were able to run the ball a little bit more, and Trey was making his reads, and he was making some great throws out there. Romello Bell, what's good? Romello says we won like we said. Go Niners! Absolutely. The game obviously started off slow in the first half, but man, it was a pleasure to see the 49ers come out with this victory. Obviously, we thought we were the better team, more talented team. There's no question about that. But man, it was good to see Trey out there, and it's definitely a sign of things to come with this 49ers team. It'll be interesting to see who plays next week at the quarterback position, whether it's Jimmy G, whether it's Trey. Who knows? Because Jimmy is not going to get surgery right now. So Jimmy wants to play, but we'll see what happens. We got Niners all day 55 in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. It's been a minute, but hey, man, appreciate you coming into the stream. Hopefully all is well for you. Happy New Year. And hey, man, you came in on the victory. What do you think about this victory versus the good old Houston Texans? Let me know. You got Jesus. What's good? Jesus says, saludos. Trey needs to avoid the big hits when he runs. Injury waiting to happen. That's something he'll learn. That's definitely something he will learn as time goes on. You want to make a play. You want to get a first down. You want to score a touchdown, whatever, but also you have to protect yourself, your body, and the team. But that's something that he'll learn, in the future. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Romello, I appreciate you, man. You are one of the MVPs. Everyone in the chat, I appreciate when you guys, give me your opinion of the game. And we go back and forth. And it's all good, man. I appreciate you for being here. And, man, I appreciate it, man. Payo Time, what's good? Payo Time says, hey, Jay, congratulations to the Niners. Stoked for our collaboration. And, yes, myself and Payo Time will be collabing, I believe, next Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be talking about the 49ers and Rams. It's a huge game. I believe the Rams can still win the division. I think the Cardinals won today, but I think the Rams could still win the division if they beat the 49ers. So, a lot is up for grabs in the 49ers and Rams game. That's for sure. Looking forward to that, and I appreciate the congratulations. Blue True, we got Blue True in the house. What's good? And a hot diggity dog. I appreciate that, $20 donation to the channel tonight, Blue True. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods. And man, that was a great win. I know you enjoyed that victory tonight. Let's see who else we got in here. Don't want to leave anybody out. We got the Real Talk Niner Talk crew in the building. What's good? I had to represent with the Trey Lance background tonight. Not only did he play well, but this was his first start at home in front of the fans at Levi Stadium, man. And this is a sign of things to come. Definitely looking forward to him being under center again. But we'll see. We already know Shanahan really digs himself some Jimmy G. We'll see what happens with Jimmy G and that thumb as the week progresses. But Trey Lance, I think if I had to give a letter grade for Trey Lance's performance, I would say a B-, and I'm grading Trey Lance on a rookie scale. Obviously he threw that interception, but he was accurate with the ball. He made good decisions. He was able to extend plays, and I thought he really involved Ayuk, Debo. Of course, we want Kittle to get more involved, but I think Trey Lance he played pretty good in his second start of the year, and he hadn't played in 2 months. So, man, I appreciate you for coming through the Real Talk Niner Talk. Niner Faithful says Kittle was out with a calf injury against Arizona the first time. I would agree. Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. He was out. And let me put a question up for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. What letter grade would you give? What letter grade would you give Trey Lance for tonight's performance? Let me know in them comments. And as I said, I would give Trey Lance a B- for his performance tonight. Let me know what you guys think. Real Talk Niner Talk says we tried to tell you the kid would take over the ranks. Hey man, I would say that Trey Lance had a great performance. But at the beginning of the year, I mean, I'm not going to revert back from what I said at the beginning of the season, because if you guys have been watching Jay and the Bay, you already know I'm one of the biggest Jimmy G fans. I'm riding with Jimmy, but Jimmy, I think at times he regressed. At times he played well. I respect Jimmy for what he did for this franchise. And Trey Lance got his opportunity tonight, and I think he made the most out of his opportunity. And I hope the best for Trey Lance. I want him to do well. So I don't think it's a we told you so. I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I respect your opinion. At the end of the day, I want what's best for the team. And there's a reason why I wanted to stick with Jimmy G, but we don't need to talk about Jimmy G tonight. This is about Trey Lance. This is about Trey Lance, the man behind me right now. And we're talking about his performance, but I appreciate your input though. Real Talk Niner Talk. Redder 4 says Steelers play tomorrow night, hoping we get a win, even though we're basically out of the playoffs. Who do you guys play tomorrow night, Redder? Let me know in them comments. And for those that are just tuning in, what letter grade would you give Trey Lance's performance for tonight? Let me know. Jesus says no more wobble passes from Trey this time. I mean, the guy's not perfect. He's going to make some mistakes. He's a rookie. He's still learning. But I think for the most part, I don't think he could have really played better. Now, if he didn't throw that interception, yeah, but that's something that's a learning lesson he's going to learn from. So APW Sports in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. APW is a Chi-Town Bears fan, and I think his team won today, so I know he's happy. APW says, happy the Niners got the much-needed win. Trey Lance started to look more comfortable the more the game went on. Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there is some jitters. There had to have been some jitters, in the beginning of the game. I mean, it's only his second start. He's in front of the home crowd. But he definitely settled down once the game went along, man. And I appreciate that comment, APW. We got David Renteria in the house. What's good? Ain't that something? The Cardinals win, and now we see Mr. David Renteria. Where you been, buddy? I ain't seen you in about a month or so, man. The Cardinals get a W over the good old Dallas Cowboys, and now we see Mr. Renteria. Ain't that something? It's got to be coincidence, right? Got to be coincidence, faithful. We got David McNew in the house. What's good? David says we need to beat the Lambs. If we do, then hang a 49er flag at their stadium. That'd be funny, right? We should do that. They should do that. But yeah, that's going to be an incredible game versus the LA Rams. You know, they're going to have a lot to play for. I believe the division title could be on the line. So it's not like the Rams are just going to rest their starters or anything like that. I mean, they could. I mean, I don't know, but I would be surprised if they did that. The Rams have something to play for. The Niners do as well. So it should be a hell of a game. Right now, the game is scheduled for Sunday, but I've been hearing rumors that the game may be flexed to a Saturday night game. So we'll see what comes to fruition. That's going to be a hell of a game. And hey, hopefully, I hope to see Trey Lance out there, but I don't even want to really think about that because I already know what Shanahan really thinks. You know, we've seen it already. So hoping for the best, but we'll see what happens with who will be lining up under center. Niners all day says, I think we have seen flashes of what Trey can be. He's going to make those mistakes, but it's all good. Happy New Year. Hey, same to you, my brother. And yeah, he's going to make mistakes. That's what you know we expect to happen. He's a rookie. You know, I'm glad he was in there tonight, and I'm glad to see him make plays with his legs and his arm. You know, the sky is the limit for Trey Lance. There's no doubt about that. You are certainly welcome, Romello. David says to David Renteria, he says, "What's up? You went MIA during that 3-game losing streak. You okay?" And he's talking to David Renteria. That's pretty good. Niner Faithful says, maybe Trey can talk to Cap about avoiding hits while scrambling because Colin almost never got hit on his run. Yeah, that's something, you know, he's going to have to work out. But for those that are tuning in, what letter grade would you give Trey Lance today for his performance? I would say a B-, but let me know what you guys think about Trey Lance's performance tonight because he is the man of the hour. He is the man of the night, making his first start, throwing 2 touchdown passes. He was pretty accurate with the football. You know, I didn't expect him, and he threw for under 25 pass attempts. That's what I was expecting. And I thought he would miss maybe 4 to 6 passes, and that's what it came out to be. He missed 6 passes, or actually 7 passes. So I'm glad that Trey was out there, and really the sky is the limit for him at this point. Romello says they have to beat us. It won't. We got them. Okay. Not sure what you mean, Romello. Let me know. But yeah, there's going to be a lot on the line in the Rams versus Niners game. There's no doubt about that. Dan says Josh Norman got his jersey taken away during the game. Well, we know what we're going to expect from Josh Norman. We know he's either punching the ball out, forcing a fumble, or he's getting beat, or he's missing a tackle. Like, Josh Norman, he is what he is at this point. Fortunately, the Texans didn't really take advantage of the secondary. I know there were 2 pass interference penalties on back-to-back plays. I think there might have been a total of 3. I know Josh Norman got a penalty, K'Wan Williams got a penalty, and I think it was Dante Johnson on and I think 2 of those penalties happened on consecutive plays, and I think there was a total of 3 pass interference penalties. So, but we know the weak point of our defense is the secondary, and that was one observation I had in this game, was that if the 49ers pass rush, which it wasn't really getting to Davis Mills in the first half, if this 49ers pass rush can't get to the quarterback, the opposing quarterback is going to be able to get the ball to the receivers. There's no doubt about that. And we couldn't really get after the quarterback in the first half. And it showed. They were able to make some plays over the top. Brandon Cooks has some good catches. He also had one catch that was negated by a Texans penalty. So that definitely went into our favor. That's for sure. We got Edward Brito in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. He says, "Hey Jay, awesome trade day today." Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Definitely great to see him out there. And I'm looking forward to see what else he can do. I wonder. I got to listen to see what Shanahan thought of Trey Lance's performance, and is there any way that Trey Lance could keep the starting job even if Jimmy is healthy? I mean, I think that's kind of 1 in a million shot, but we'll see. Andre, what's good? Thank you for tuning in to the stream tonight on a Sunday night. Andre says, "What's good, Jay? Once Trey settled down, it was on. Next week's game could be on Saturday or Sunday." Yeah. And he says Andre would give Trey Lance a B minus. Hey, I would agree with that, man. I would agree with that. Romello says B minus. He just got to play today. Yep. Yeah. B minus. I can definitely respect that. Looks like we got Travis Berg Jr. in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, TB. How is your Sunday going? My Niners got a win today, so it's definitely a victorious Sunday for the faithful, the Niner Empire. But I appreciate you coming in and hopping in on the stream, man. Niner Faithful says C+ to a B- for Trey Lance. He says off the first half and along with an interception, but the 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown made up for it. Yeah. And I wasn't shocked that he threw an interception because he's a rook. Not surprised at all. But he bounced back and he played much better in the second half. I love Travis Berg's mindset. Good win today. A W is a W. Exactly. Travis Berg gives us a grade for Trey Lance's performance tonight. He gives him a B-. I respect that. And let's see. We got Andre says, trippy part is we could play Rams 2 weeks in a row, I think. Here's to getting some playoff wins. But first, let's get this W next week. See everyone at the tailgate, man. Enjoy the game, man. Stay safe out there. And yeah, we'll see what happens because I think what's really determined now is the seeding. We're not sure if we're going to be either 6th or 7th seed. But obviously, if we beat the Rams and the Falcons beat the Saints, the seeding for us could be altered. And it also depends on the seeding will determine who we play in the first week of the playoffs. So a lot is riding on the game next week against the good old LA Rams at SoFi Stadium. We got David Edmondson in the house. What's good? And David is representing that good old real talk, Niner talk. David says this game unfortunately did nothing to unite the faithful or separate them from Jimmy G fans. We will roll with whomever starts, but personally, I like to see number 5 against the Rams. I would agree with you. And, Jimmy G fans, Trey Lance fans, it's what can you say? I mean, I don't even know what to say. We got a victory. Trey played well. We have no idea how Jimmy G would have played in this situation. We really don't know. Hey, I hope that Trey will play against the Rams just like you do, David, but I won't be surprised if it's Jimmy. But we'll see. If Jimmy's able to practice every day this week, then I won't be surprised if he's named the starter. But that's up to Shanahan. I know it's at the end of the day, it's up to Shanahan, and I respect his opinion. May not always agree with it, but he's the head coach, and if he's riding with Jimmy under center, then we riding with Jimmy. That's how it's got to be. Travis Berg Jr. Appreciate that $5 donation. He says, "What's your opinion on the Antonio Brown incident?" Man, that's pretty sad because there's no doubt Antonio Brown, he's probably, if he would have, stayed with the Steelers or at least been on the Raiders team and been productive, I think there's no doubt Antonio Brown had a Hall of Fame trajectory for his career as a receiver. Hell, he could even get into the Hall of Fame maybe, but the stuff he's doing recently, obviously he had the off the field incidents, multiple incidents. And now on the field, I want to know what Mike Evans was trying to say to AB and what AB was saying back to Mike Evans. I don't know what happened prior to that. Like, why was Antonio Brown upset? I think the Buccaneers were losing at that time, but it's sad because Antonio Brown's probably not going to an NFL team will probably not sign Antonio Brown. I mean, why would you at this point? He had a great situation with TB12. TB12, you know, I mean, the only reason he was with the Buccaneers was because of TB12. And then he runs off the field. You just hope that if he needs help, AB gets it. That's what you hope. But, you know, AB can only do that for himself. You can't force someone to get help. But, you know, I hope the best for AB. Hopefully he gets help if that's what it is. Or hell, maybe he's just tired and done with football. I don't know. But, man, it's a crazy incident. And you just hope that AB gets the help, you know, he needs. And, you know, that's all I can really say. But it's a terrible situation for him because, man, he has all that talent, but, you know, he's not valuing it clearly. So very, very unfortunate. We got John in the building. What's good? John says, as a rookie, solid B for Lance. The deep threat is a game changer, in my opinion. There's no doubt. He can sling that ball. He does have a slower release than Jimmy G. That is something that has been said in the past. It is something that I've noticed, but I feel like he will actually, and it's not like Jimmy didn't do this. I feel like Jimmy would stand in the pocket. He would survey the field. But I feel like Trey will do that maybe a second, maybe 0.5 seconds more, and that'll actually have other routes develop. And I think we saw that from Trey. I think he got sacked. I think Trey Lance, I think he did get sacked a few times. Actually, no, he only got sacked one time. So he got sacked one time. The offensive line did a pretty good job in protecting Trey. Now, we do have to kind of judge him based on playing the Texans. The Texans obviously aren't a playoff-bound team, but they're still a professional team. And, you know, Trey Lance did well under the conditions. And if he starts, though, against the Rams, that's going to be an even greater test. Away against a playoff-bound Rams team, even though the 49ers do have their number. We've won the last, 5 games. But I guess, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I was surprised when we beat the Rams earlier this year. And I know a lot of the 49ers fans were surprised as well. But we'll see what happens, you know, at the Rams next Sunday. Let's see, David, can you pull up the playoff schedule, please? Yes, I will in a minute, David, in a minute. But I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Niners All Day says, I'd give Trey a C+ to a B-. He was accurate with the ball, had one interception, but not sliding was kind of scary. Got to reach him to slide more often. Yeah, and I'm sure when he watches film tonight or tomorrow, or whatever, he'll see those plays that he could slide to protect himself and protect the team. We got Jamar Hall in the house. What's good? It's like Jamar Hall says he will give Trey Lance a B-, and he did a solid job. Hey, man, I don't think he really could have played better other than the interception. But I thought, you know, he could have played. He couldn't have really played much better. I thought he did pretty well. Ambry Thomas, man, he played pretty well. Ambry Thomas could have really broke open this game if he would have been able to get that interception. And they say, you know, cornerbacks aren't wide receivers because of their hands. And that kind of showed tonight. Some cornerbacks just don't have great hands. That's why they're cornerbacks and not wide receivers. At least that was the old saying or whatever in high school. But Ambry Thomas, he was in great position. He made a great break on the ball, but he just couldn't come down with that interception. If he would have caught that ball, that probably would have been a pick six, would have broke this game open. But at least Ambry Thomas, that's something I noticed tonight. Ambry Thomas is playing better, and that's all you can really ask for. Romello says the Rams. Okay. Jesus says Niners versus Rams Sunday night. So have they already flexed the game? Because I believe it was scheduled for a 1:25 Pacific time start. So I wonder if the league, well, on when you Google the game, it still says 1:25. We will see if the game is flexed. Most likely it will be. But they haven't really announced it yet. So, let's see. John says Trey's design QB runs aren't that effective. If anything, his legs helped extend plays for the pass. That's a great observation. because when Trey would run up the middle, it didn't really work. Even the read options, they didn't really work. But as you mentioned, what Trey was most effective at was taking the snap, surveying the field, and when the wide receiver wasn't open, or if the rush got to him, he was able to maneuver with ease, get out of that situation, scramble a little bit, and then hit an open receiver like he did with Ayuk on one play I can clearly remember. It was a short pass, but it 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 illustrated Trey Lance's ability to maneuver within the pocket, extend plays. We've seen this, Faithful, playing against Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, how it was so annoying that they would just evade the rushers, seem like they would wait back there forever, and then a wide receiver would be wide open. Now the 49ers have that ability to do that, and man, it's great to see. Definitely great to see. Appreciate the kind words, TB. Appreciate that very much. David Edmonds says hopefully Mosley comes back and both he and Thomas can start. Norman can kick rocks. That'll be interesting if Mosley comes back versus the Rams. It seems like a prayer at this point if he comes back week 18 versus the Rams. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if Mosley practiced much this week or if he was a limited participant, but we'll see how the week progresses. If Mosley can practice every day, or at least if he can practice Thursday and Friday as a full participant, then his odds of playing versus the Rams greatly increase. But that would be interesting. Who would Shanahan start? And is it what I've always wondered is, does D'Amico Ryans, the defensive coordinator, does he decide? Hey, he speaks to Shanahan. He says, "Hey, I think Josh Norman right now is better than Ambry Thomas," or does Shanahan make that final decision? I've always wondered that, but that'd be interesting to see because we know Mosley is our best corner on the team, and when healthy, other than of course Verrett, but it'd be interesting to see with the 49ers start Thomas opposite Mosley or Josh Norman, because we know what Josh Norman can do for us, and we know what where he struggles at. That's for sure. Another player I wanted to talk about, Trent Williams. He had a pretty good game. He did have a holding call that was kind of I didn't really agree with the holding call. The play wasn't even near him, but it looked like a ticky tack call to me. I didn't really agree with that call. But Trent Williams is continuing to play at an All-Pro level. Honestly, we're lucky to have Trent Williams. Fortunately, the Niners were able to trade for him in the offseason for, I think it was a third and a fifth round pick or something like that. But Trent Williams is continuing to ball out, and definitely is something great to see when he's out there. One of Trey Lance's favorite targets was the Ayuk show. Brandon Ayuk. It was definitely good to see Brandon Ayuk make plays. He had I think his longest catch of the night. Let me look that up. It was, let's see, his longest catch of the night was 43 yards, and he had 4 catches, 94 yards, and on 6 targets. Brandon Ayuk, is good to see him put that nonsense in the past to bed. And he's playing lights out for the 49ers. He's another target. It seems like Ayuk and Lance have good rapport, and hopefully we will see that continue. But Brandon Ayuk, he's definitely a playmaker when he has his hands on the ball. There's no doubt about that, and he is difficult to bring down. I just thought of the special teams, and I was coming into this game, I was saying the special teams need to play better. The Texans did have a kick return touchdown in last week's game against the Jags, or it might have been 2 weeks ago. But the special teams did pretty good today. The kickoff team did a pretty good job. I don't think we allowed a kick return past the 25 or the 30. I don't think. We did a good job in that area. Ayuk I think he had one punt that went maybe like 10 yards as far as a punt return. So Ayuk was decent in that area, but it was great to see. We did not turn over the ball on special teams. Robbie Gould made some kicks, so that was good to see. And the special teams, department did pretty good. We're going to need another repeat performance like that next week against the Rams. That's for sure. J.R. Meadows in the building. What's good? He said, to hell with Jimmy. Hey man, I respect it, but it's for me it's counterproductive. We know what Jimmy can bring to the table. We know what he does do well. We know what he doesn't. If Jimmy is under center, you got to root for him. That's I obviously I can't speak for you, JR, but you know, you got to root for him. If he does well, the team does well. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. Now, I could say, hey, I want Trey Lance to start next week against the Rams. I can say that all I want. But if Jimmy's under center, if Nate Sudfeld's under center, if Tyler Brait is under center, I'm going to root for whoever's under center. We all have our wants. But, you know, hey, if he plays well, this team will do well. But obviously, I would want I would want Trey to start for sure. Looks like Romello agrees with you, JR. David Renteria says, welcome to the Cards, AB. Wouldn't that be something? That would be crazy, right? David says, we have 5 one-score losses, a mix of offensive and special teams woes. I can't blame our defense for being on the field too long. Hey, that's a great point. Great point. And unfortunately, we are in this position of, this do or die game against the Rams because of, we had a 4-game losing streak at one point in the year. There were several games that we lost due to penalties and turnovers. So I'm glad we're in the position we are now because it could be worse, I guess. But, we should have beat the Titans. I think we should have beat, at least we should have split with the Cardinals and the Seahawks, but that didn't come to fruition. But I appreciate your sentiments, David, and I agree with you. Tommy says, "What's good, Tommy?" He says David Renteria came back after his team finally got a win. I noticed that too, man. You're saying, Tommy, that wasn't a coincidence? That's what you said? I noticed that too, Tommy. The 49ers defense. We got to talk about this 49ers defense. They held the Texans to 7 points. The 49ers defense, as far as the points allowed, you can't really ask for much better, right? Now, the Texans offense in the first half, they were able to convert some third downs, and that's something that we had noticed last week against the Tennessee Titans. But for the most part, this defense came to play. Fred Warner led the team in tackles with 15. Marcel Harris, and Marcel Harris was starting opposite of Fred Warner due to the injuries at linebacker to Greenlaw and Aziz. I thought Marcel Harris played pretty well. He had that interception. The 49ers got a sweet call on that. What was that? Forward progress stop, because that was really close. Marcel Harris got his hands on the ball. He intercepted it, took a few steps, and then he got kind of tangled up between two of the Texans players, and they whistled the ball dead. Fortunately, they did, because that easily could have been a fumble, but that was a play that obviously benefited the 49ers. But Marcel Harris, I thought, played well. Jordan Willis, he had a sack. Armstead had a sack as well. So there are a lot of 49er defenders who played well. Ambry Thomas was probably the best corner out there tonight, I would say. And hopefully that continues as the season progresses. But the 49ers defense, you can't really ask them to play much better. They only allow 7 points. So I'll take that any day. Let's see. Tommy Huxley, he gives Trey Lance a C+ for a rookie. He gives Trey Lance a C+, but for a rookie, he gives him an A. Okay, all right. Hey, I respect that, man. I respect that for sure. David says, yeah, I'm back, and we need y'all to beat the Rams so we get the 3 seed. That's funny. Tommy says, now I want to lose. David says, well, then say bye to the playoffs. That's funny. It'd be interesting, Tommy, to see if the Cards are one and done. They're kind of limping into the playoffs, you would say. They had lost their previous 3 games. They won a big game against the Cowboys. I definitely thought the Cowboys would win. But hey, the Cardinals stepped up, and they went into Dallas and beat the Cowboys. So hats off to them. They did a pretty good job. And I think they play the Seahawks next week. So they should win that game. Seahawks don't have much to play for. David McNew says the red chickens still need to beat those pesky sea chickens. They put a 50 burger on the Lions today. Yep. That's going to be an interesting game. Tommy says, then David will disappear again. Oh, man. Jesus says Trey still stares down his number one target. I cannot confirm nor deny that. Honestly, I could not tell watching the game. I would really have to go back and watch it again. But hey, he's a rookie. He will learn if this is true. But there are definitely certain reads for every quarterback that when a play is drawn up, there's obviously going to be your number one target. Like who's going to be the number one receiver on a specific play. And I think I know which play you're talking about. You're talking about the Kittle throw that was an interception. I think that's probably the play you're talking about because he did stare him down. But there's obviously going to be a player who's going to be the number one target on any given passing play. Then once you survey the defense, once you figure out, are they playing man? Are they playing zone? That may not be your number one receiver anymore, or it could be. Sometimes it depends on the coverage. But, Trey Lance did say, hey, that was a bad throw. I've got to get better. Trey Lance took responsibility. Wow. I mean, you guys heard that in the press conference. Trey Lance took responsibility for that interception. He said, I've got to do better. I've got to watch film, but I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm going to move forward and, get better. He said he underthrew it. So he actually took responsibility for that. So that was definitely good to see. Andre says we had too many PI calls against us. We got to clean that up. FYI, they won't announce flex until, probably a date in the near future. I agree. We had, the Josh Norman call. It was close. I mean, he did get his head back, but there was a lot of contact. But let's be real. We lead the NFL in defensive pass interference penalties. The referees already know that. They're not going to give us any benefit of the doubt. But unfortunately, if we can't get after the quarterback, which is something we did not really do in the first half, a quarterback, even Davis Mills, he's going to be able to hit receivers. And that's just kind of, it is what it is at this point. There is no cornerback we can go out and get in the market who's going to be better than what we have right now. Josh Norman is who he is. Ambry Thomas is a rookie who's learning and getting better every game. Hopefully we get Emmanuel Mosley back. He is the best corner right now on the team when healthy. But we'll see. He could be back versus the Rams or maybe in the first game of the playoffs. Let's see. So Andre said that the flex will be announced on Monday. Okay, definitely looking forward to that. David says the Lambs will beat the 49ers and end their playoff hopes. Yeah, we'll see. Tommy says, but with the rookie quarterback, the Lambs have a chance for once. Andre says there is no Sunday night game on the schedule at all from what I see, not even a place to be determined spot. So, I mean, they could, schedule a Sunday night game. I guess we'll see tomorrow what the NFL decides to do, but there's no doubt they're going to want to make this 49ers Rams game a primetime game because there's a lot up for grabs in that game. Let's see. Then David says there ain't no Sunday night football, so no primetime games until the playoffs. Well, they could move it to Saturday night. We'll see. But let's see. We got Luke Luna in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Luke, how is your Sunday night going? Luke says, if Jimmy says he can go and he throws well, in your opinion, Jay, did Trey do enough to steal the job considering completion and overall performance? If I was the head coach, yes, I would stick with Trey Lance. But at least I feel Shanahan will stick with Jimmy because hey, he trusts Jimmy. He's coached Jimmy 49 games. That's Jimmy's played in his tenure with the 49ers, and that's who he trusts. It is what it is. But I think Trey did enough to show that he should remain the starter, I think, because I'm tired of seeing the just inaccurate play, erratic play of Jimmy G. I'm just tired of seeing it. We've seen it. And I'm ready to roll with Trey. Tommy says, and how do you feel about that, Luke Luna? How do you feel? I want you to answer your same question as well. I would love to hear your thoughts on that subject as well, man. Tommy Huxley says, can't wait to beat the Cards in the playoffs, even if they don't have a first round exit, which is inevitable. And that's a great question that Luke Luna posed, because I asked this in my pregame show. Is there anything Trey Lance can do to retain the starting job for the game today? And a lot of people were saying that he should have been a starter from day one. We know that there are those fans as well, but I personally felt that if Jimmy was healthy next week, I just don't think there's anything that Trey Lance could do tonight to win the starting job. He definitely had a great impression in front of the fans, but I just think, maybe I'm not being optimistic about it, but I think Jimmy, I think Shanahan just really, that's who he believes in. He believes in Jimmy. He's going to want him to be the starter out there if he can, grip the ball and throw it. So I guess I'll pose a question. Should Trey Lance remain the starter? Regardless of Jimmy's So that's going to be the question. I would love if you guys gave me your input. Should Trey Lance remain the starter regardless of Jimmy G's health? And let me make sure. Let's see. Okay. Let me know what you guys think about that in them comments. I think Trey should remain the starter. I know JR and Romello want Trey Lance to be the starter. But what does everyone else think? I'm curious to know how you guys feel about that. We got Rams House in the building. What's good? Got a hell of a game between the Niners and Rams next week. It could be Sunday, it could be Saturday. We'll see. But definitely looking forward to the game, and good luck in the game. Wishing you guys health in that game. And it's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to be a hell of a game, that's for sure. Well, thanks for tuning in, Rams House. John says, Ayuk and Lance got chemistry. Hopefully, with more first-team reps, he'll develop a rapport with Kittle and Debo as well. Hey, I completely agree with you. But there's definitely chemistry between Lance and Ayuk. And Lance did try to hit Kittle, but that was unfortunately an interception in, I believe, the second quarter. So, but yeah, we'll see. Rams House says, you won't need to have Jimmy G play well if you run all over us like you always do. We'll see, man. We shall see. So, and one thing that the executive producer of the show mentioned to me based on watching this game was the 49ers have bigger issue than quarterback, which I think could be true. Maybe not bigger issue, but issues that could cause us to lose a game, like special teams, like the secondary and the penalties. We're going to have to go up against OBJ and Cooper Kupp next week. Obviously, they have a plethora of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Matt Stafford, man, he has been throwing. He has been throwing a lot of interceptions. Let's look up Matt Stafford's stats, because he has been, he is a prolific passer. Make no mistake about it. But he has been throwing a lot of interceptions this season. Let's look at this season. He's thrown 13 interceptions, so it's double-digit interceptions, but he's got 36 touchdowns, completing 66% of his passes. So he's obviously having a fantastic year for the LA Rams, but he does turn the ball over, and maybe we can get him to do that, in the game we'll play against them on Sunday or Saturday, whatever it is. So we'll see, man. It's going to be a hell of a game, though. Luke Luna says, oh, look, it's David. The Cards got to win, so he's back all of a sudden. We are blessed. It's a miracle with perfect timing. Exactly, man. The Cardinals are back. We also have Colt McCoy in the building. Man, when the Cardinals win, they come out in full force, man. That's for sure, man. Let's see. Luke Luna says, yeah, I wouldn't be scared if I wouldn't be scared to play the Cards, law of averages, and we couldn't score in the first and we couldn't stop them in the second. I do believe we meet in the middle and we win versus Arizona. If we have to play them in the playoffs, that would be credible matchup. Obviously, they won the first two games. Both games were pretty close. Yeah, I'm not scared of the Cardinals. I'm not scared of any team. I welcome the competition with the 49ers. Whoever we play, there will be some advantages and disadvantages, but at the end of the day, it's whoever plays the best that day will get the win. So, Luke says Lions are pathetic. Their whole team sucks. We lost to a backup quarterback with a decent team. Lions beat the Cards, and they are all backups without wins. Lions got more heart than Cards, 100%. Any given Sunday, the saying is true. The Lions were better that day, but let's be real. If the Lions and Cardinals played again, do you really think the Lions would beat the Cardinals again? I don't think so. David Renteria, he's feeling real good tonight. He says, we're getting healthier when playoffs start. D-Hop, J.J. Watt-Connor, but he might return against the Seahawks. I know you better hope so, David Renteria. That's for sure. We got Osby Sports in the building. What's good? Osby Sports says, no, Jimmy, no. No, Jimmy, no. You sure, Osby? So what does everyone else feel? Should Trey Lance remain the starter at quarterback regardless of Jimmy G's health? Because I think that will play obviously a huge role. Because I feel if Kyle Shanahan had his druthers and Jimmy G's healthy, he's definitely going to be under center versus the Rams, but we'll see. But I appreciate your input, Osby Sports. He says, no, still on Jimmy G. And what are your thoughts, Osby Sports, on Trey Lance's performance tonight? What letter grade would you give him? We got KD in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, KD. Hopefully all is well for you on a Sunday night, man. Appreciate you coming through. John says, although I want to roll with Trey as well, I think Shanahan isn't ready to part with Jimmy yet. If Jimmy is healthy, he is going to start next week. I completely agree with you. I wish that wasn't the case, but, Shanahan, he trusts in Jimmy. Through Jimmy's ups and downs, it's been a roller coaster season for Jimmy, and Shanahan, wants to ride with Jimmy for whatever reason. But it kind of is what it is. But I agree with you, John. We got Kelts Chronicles in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. He says, "Yay! How you doing tonight, Kelts Chronicles? Did you end up going to the Texans game today? If so, man, what were your thoughts, man? You got to see Trey Lance up close and personal, man. We got to hear it." David McNew says reports are all over the place on Jimmy G's thumb. I don't know if he can play. Yeah, I mean, I saw a report this morning. Shout out to 49ers First Takes. He had a video up on his YouTube where I think it was a writer or reporter for NBC basically said Jimmy G's not going to opt for surgery now. But he will need it in the off season. But you figure if Jimmy is not getting the surgery now, clearly he still wants to play, and he's going to, he's basically going to be day to day up until game day. And if he can grip the ball and throw it, and if he does that this week in practice on multiple days, I just think Jimmy will play. But we'll see though. Even if Jimmy G's named the starter, what if he doesn't play well against the Rams in the first quarter? Will Shanahan take him out and put Lance in? I mean, we'll see. But we'll see. It all depends on Jimmy G's thumb. And it looks like in today's game, he was wearing a soft cast or a wrap on his right thumb. So, it's definitely, it's definitely could hinder him throwing the ball. But we'll see how that affects him in practice this week, or if he practices at all. We know this week he didn't practice at all, and we'll see how that goes in the next few days. Luke Luna, considering competition and overall performance, I meant to say, but I don't think he did. But he was better in the second half. But the Texans aren't a good team. He didn't do enough, in my opinion. Okay. All right. Hey, and I totally respect that. The Houston Texans are not a playoff team. The Houston Texans have only won 4 games, but they played like they had nothing to lose in today's game. They definitely made it difficult on the 49ers in the first half. But I respect your opinion, Luke, that Jimmy G, in your opinion, still deserves to keep the starting job. And it all depends on Jimmy G's health, I think. Andre says, we got to let Jimmy have it back. Nothing more valuable than playoff experience. That's where Jimmy not giving a blank attitude comes in handy. He shakes things off easily. I want a Super Bowl win. Hey, I totally respect your opinion. I want a Super Bowl win too. Do you think that this team can win a Super Bowl? I mean, obviously, hey, all you have to do is be the better team that day. All the players put their pads, their shoulder pads and pants on the same way, and their helmet goes on their head the same. But I don't know if this team can win a Super Bowl. Just being totally honest, there are deficiencies on this team. But hey, I respect you guys' opinion. We'll see, because I feel like I feel like Kyle Shanahan feels like how Andre and Luke Luna feel. Absolutely. But it all depends on Jimmy G's thumb. We'll see how that goes. We got SG Sports Talk channel in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Hopefully all is well on a Sunday night for you. What are your thoughts on Trey Lance's performance? Let me know in them comments, SG. And he asked me, what are my thoughts? I thought he played as best as he could, especially for not playing in about 2 months. I gave him a letter grade of a B-. Obviously, his one huge error was the interception, and that's something that he'll learn from. But I loved how he maneuvered in and out of the pocket, extended plays. He was able to get some guys open by him just keeping the play alive. And that's something we haven't really seen. We've seen Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson do that, but we haven't really seen a 49ers quarterback do that at the level that Trey Lance can do it. He was accurate when he was throwing. I liked what I saw for sure. SG Sports Talk channel says, great win by the faithful. We got 49ers, Lakers for life. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. They say, let's go Niners and let's go Trey. Absolutely. Appreciate the kind words, SG Sports Talk channel. SG also says, let's go Niners, and we have a clinched playoff berth. Well, I believe the seeding is still up for grabs, but we definitely put ourselves in a better situation if we beat the Rams. But also, I think the Falcons need to beat the Saints. There's a few different scenarios. John says, Jimmy is good enough to bring you to the playoffs. He's not good enough to win it all. That being said, I think Jimmy did his job and kept us in playoff contentions. Let's roll with Lance. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. But I don't think Shanahan does. I think Shanahan feels different. And that's why I'm not very optimistic about Lance starting. I feel like, honestly, the only way Lance will start is Jimmy can't. Like, if Jimmy's thumb isn't healthy enough, I feel like that's the only way Trey Lance will start. And I don't think there's anything that Trey Lance could have done in tonight's game to really prove the most important person that he's worthy of the starting job, and that's Kyle Shanahan. But I agree with you. I think we should roll with Lance, but I'm pessimistic right now about him starting on Sunday. We'll see. SG Sports Talk says Trey Lance should remain the starter. Okay. Kelts Chronicle says Shanahan seemed pleased with Lance, reading in between the lines on after-game press conference. Lance going to start next week. Just my guess. And that'll be interesting. So do you feel, Kelts, that Lance will start regardless of Jimmy G's health? Because I would be surprised by that, but it would be a pleasant surprise if Shanahan said, oh, Trey Lance is a starter from now on. I would be shocked, honestly. SG Sports Talk says, "Go Trey, go go go, go Trey, go go go." What are your thoughts on that Antonio Brown incident, man? Someone else asked me that, and I feel like it's sad. Hopefully, AB gets some help. He had a hell of a career, and he kind of just not kind of he just threw it down the drain, man. The only reason he was on the Bucks was because of TB12. Very unfortunate for AB. He kind of did this to himself, and hopefully he gets help because I don't think any NFL team was going to sign him, right? I mean, what NFL team would sign him at this point? Hey, maybe the Cowboys. They unfortunately Michael Gallup, he tore his ACL. Hey, maybe the Cowboys would take a chance on AB. Who knows? We'll see. Part of me would be surprised, but then part of me is like, well, teams want to win. They'll do anything to win. As long as you're not in jail and you can help the team, hey, they'll sign you. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But it's unfortunate, though. Corey Davis says, why are the Saints playing another sorry team next week, Atlanta? Yeah, I know, right? I think, did the Falcons win today? I think they might have won today. Let's see. I think the Falcons, let me double check. I think they did win today, though. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks like no, they lost today. So they lost to the Bills today, but they won last week against Detroit. So yeah, we'll see, man. That's a division rival game. So I think that's going to be a close game. Very close. Luke Luna, the starter shouldn't lose the job, especially with how he has been playing since Chicago, because you're tired of seeing Jimmy. I was happy for Trey and was happy he settled in, but he did not steal the job. I would agree with you that it wasn't a type of performance. I mean, how can he really win the job on one game? That doesn't sound realistic. But I'll tell you this: I would rather see Trey in there than Jimmy. That's just my personal opinion. I'd rather see Trey in there. But we know what Shanahan wants, and was Trey Lance's performance tonight overwhelming? Did it completely win the job? No, but I don't think Trey could have really played any better. But that's also why I said earlier this morning, I don't think there's anything that Trey could have done to win the job. But I would rather see Trey out there under center. That's just me. And SG Sports Talk channel, Antonio Brown was cut. He was cut, man. Bruce Arians, the head coach of the Buccaneers, said after the game that Antonio Brown is no longer a Buck, and he kept it at that. So Antonio Brown is a free agent. Kelt says, super lit. I did go to the game. Trey seemed a little nervous and then settled in. Great team defense, great energy at the stadium, great win. Hey, I completely agree. He definitely looked, nervous in the first, I would say the first quarter, much of the second quarter, he looked nervous. And I would expect nothing less. I would expect nothing less. But I think overall he played pretty well. Let's see. SG says, I will roll with Lance. Trey Lance a lot. I see what you did there. Kelt says, I believe Shanahan said he wants Garoppolo to be 100% and that he probably won't be 100% by next week. So then that's our answer then. We will see how the week progresses. But it's up to Shanahan, it's up to Jimmy's thumb, and we'll see how that progresses throughout the week if he can even practice. John says, Trey Lamp looks like Deshaun Watson this game, gave me high hopes for our future. I would agree. It was a pleasure seeing Trey Lance in there. The sky is the limit for this franchise. We just have to continue to build around him in the offseason, and I trust that this franchise will do that. Sean E. Football, what's good? I had this same idea as well. He said, I don't think AB will ever play in the NFL again. I agree with you to a certain extent, but then part of me wouldn't be surprised if some team that really needed a wide receiver said, hey, AB, come on in. I mean, it's a low risk, high reward move, kind of like how the Buccaneers signed AB. and hell, they won a Super Bowl. So I wouldn't be surprised if a team called AB, brought him in, see where his head is at, see what's going on. And, hey, if it doesn't work out, you just cut him. You just cut him if it doesn't work out. Andre says, am I wrong? I saw that if we lose, we might be out. If we tie with the Saints and Eagles, then we're out. I think that last statement you made, so if we tie, if the Saints win, the Eagles win, and the Niners win, that means I believe it would be a 3-way tie. And in that scenario, whichever team out of those three, whichever two teams out of those three that have the best NFC conference record would then advance to the playoffs. I believe that's the case. And the Niners would not make the playoffs if that came to fruition, because the Saints and the Eagles, they have a better NFC conference record. So I believe that's the case. So we need to still win. But if we lose to the Rams, but the Falcons beat the Saints, then we're in. But we really don't want to rely on the Atlanta Falcons beating the New Orleans Saints. We need to take care of our business against the LA Rams, but that's not going to be an easy game. Kelp says, look, Trey is a 21-year-old rookie and hasn't played in 2 months and 2 starts in 2 years. Great job by Trey. Real talk. I agree. I don't think he could have played much better. I mean, he ain't played. He played 2 times in 2 years. So he ain't played. So, I mean, he couldn't have played much better. And I appreciate everyone tuning in to the stream tonight. Everyone came in, gave their thoughts and opinion on the game and on Trey Lance. I appreciate everyone coming in. Shout out to everyone watching intheBay YouTube, intheBay Twitter. Shout out to Blue True for that donation. And I believe Travis Berg gave a donation as well. Shout out to you guys for donating to the channel. Appreciate that. Luke Luna says, Jimmy undefeated versus the Rams. He knows how to play the Rams. And with Lance, who knows? I mean, we've beaten them with backups. I think our high-profile pick can as well. We may find out if we own them totally. The first game we played the Rams, I was surprised we won. I'm just being real. I was surprised we won. Jimmy does play well against the Rams. But hey, if Jimmy can't throw the ball, he's not going to be out there. And Trey Lance will be out there. So that will be an interesting matchup. We're still, the game plan is going to be the same. Run the ball. Elijah Mitchell looked pretty good. He had 21 carries. I didn't really see any other running backs carry the ball. I mean, Trey had some carries. Debo had some carries, and I think that was it. I don't think I saw any other. I didn't see. Yeah, Jeff Wilson Jr. didn't get any carries. Jermichael Hasty didn't get any carries. So it was just Elijah Mitchell, Trey Lance, and Debo. And then also Kittle had 1 carry. But hey, it'll be very, very interesting to see. I agree with your SG hashtag beat the Rams. I agree with your SG. I hope everyone have a great rest of your Sunday night. I appreciate everyone for tuning in to the stream tonight. I appreciate everyone's thoughts and comments on Trey Lance. It'll be a very, very interesting week going forward. It'll be hashtag Thumbgate. What's going on with Jimmy G? Because if he don't practice again, like last week, he's not going to play. Make no mistake about it. If he doesn't practice, he won't play. And Trey Lance will be under center. But that's good to hear, though, that Shanahan did like what he saw from Trey. I don't see how he could have played much better. Luke Luna says, come on, guys. No one gives Jimmy props for being a rookie sitting for 4 years, and he came in and won 5 in a row when we sucked, tears his knee, and we go to the Super Bowl. No one gives him credit. I would say that is very true if you're looking at 49ers Twitter as a whole. But there's no doubt when we traded for Jimmy G, this franchise needed a quarterback. Ever since Cap left, we really did not have a franchise quarterback. Some would say we still don't. Or at least yet, we'll see how Trey Lance works out. But hey, I give Jimmy credit. Jimmy made this franchise relevant again when he was healthy. There's no mistake about that. him along with Shanahan and with a running game, a defense, they all worked well together. Jimmy G, he was a part of turning around this 49ers franchise. I mean, can we forget Chip Kelly, Tom Sula? And hey, if the Niners could do it all again, would they trade for Jimmy? Maybe they would. Because hell, Jimmy, some people will say Jimmy is one play away from the Super Bowl win. If you would have hit Emmanuel Sanders, that could be true. Or hey, maybe if the defense was able to stop the Chiefs offense again, hey, we could be having a much different story. But I appreciate what Jimmy did, but I don't think he can do much more. And I just don't want to see the inconsistency that we see from Jimmy. Every time he throws the ball, I get nervous. Sure, are there games where he plays well? Absolutely. And I'm rooting for Jimmy. I want him to do well, but it's the same thing every game. He's throwing high. He's throwing picks. He's missing receivers. Like you just get tired of it. And that's where I'm at. And me, Double L. Me, Luke Luna. I'm one of the biggest Jimmy G supporters out there. But, everyone has their breaking point. And I've just had enough. And I've said it before. If he's under center, I'm rooting for him. But I would rather see Trey Lance at this point. And I'm giving Jimmy his props. He revitalized this franchise. He helped us get to the Super Bowl, absolutely. But, the 49ers have told us what they feel about Jimmy by going up and getting Trey Lance. The 49ers have already told us what they feel about that. So it is what it is at this point, Luke, but I appreciate your comments. Andre says, great show, Jay. Love to watch you work. I appreciate that, man. He says, love the collaborations you do with other creators. Keep up the good work. Let's go. 49 Nueves. Let's go 49ers. All right, man. I appreciate the kind words, Andre, man. Always good to see when you're in the chats, man. Appreciate that. Kels Chronicle says, when Jimmy came out of the tunnel, there were 0 cheers and there were boos. Hey, man, I don't blame them. I do not blame them. Along with Jimmy's inconsistent play, he's dealt with the injuries. Let's be real. That's part of it too. And fans are tired of it. And I gave Jimmy the benefit of the doubt. Y'all know me. Y'all been watching me since September. I gave Jimmy G the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, he's going to come in. He'll be healthy. We're going to have a repeat season of 2019. But, that didn't really come to pass. And I gave him the benefit at the beginning of the year. But it is what it is at this point. Jimmy is good, but he's not good enough. And that's why the Niners drafted Trey Lance. We want to have an elite quarterback. That's plain and simple. And we want Trey Lance to be like that. We think he can get that way. And that's why we wanted to upgrade the quarterback position. Yeah, Jimmy's good, but I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. And we think Trey Lance can be a franchise quarterback. We got Niners, man, in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. I appreciate everyone. You hit that thumbs up button. You also subscribe if you haven't subscribed to Jay and the Bay. And yes, I did see what AB did. Very sad. Hey, if the man needs help, hopefully he gets help. That's all I can really say about that. APW Sports says, this is Jimmy G's last year in the Bay. They didn't trade all that draft capital for nothing. Completely agree with you, APW. I completely agree. Jimmy will be traded off to the highest bidder in the offseason. And I appreciate for what he did for this franchise when he was here. But, we're on the last chapter of his 49er book. Let's be real. Not in the beginning. We're not in the middle. We are pages away from his career ending with the 49ers. And I appreciate what he's done, but the time, I think it's damn near over. What grade would I give Kittle? He didn't really make an impact in the passing game. You could say that, hey, that's Trey Lance's fault or whatever, but we've seen bigger games, obviously, from George Kittle, but he was solid. He was solid. I really would have to watch back to see what he did in the running game and the passing game as far as blocking. But Kittle's going to be Kittle. He's going to be a hell of a player for us. And I'm looking to see what he can do against them good old LA Rams next week. John says Lance threw some low catchable throws. Could have been more accurate, but they were receptions nonetheless. Yes. And that's a great point. They were low catchable, but they were balls that only his receivers could get. And that's another thing. Like sometimes you can't always throw the ball and hit a player in their chest. Sometimes you have to throw the ball so that way your receiver only has an opportunity to catch that ball. And that's what Trey Lance did. One throw that comes to mind is the throw to Juwan Jennings. It was low, but it was catchable, and Jennings made a great job in catching the ball. Oh, I would give the show an A plus. Absolutely. I mean, IU played great, led the team in catches today, and he's got a great rapport with Trey Lance. Absolutely. No doubt about it. But it'll be very interesting to see how this week plays out. Got a tough game against the LA Rams in SoFi Stadium. Definitely looking forward to that. And let's see. Thoughts on Robbie Gould? Hey, he did his job. He made his field goal. Hey, he's good in my book. Luke Luna says, but Trey being a high-profile pick with future capital expectations come with that as well. Look at how fans treat picks in the first few rounds without the extra picks. No, there's no doubt. It takes time to develop as an NFL player. Not every player is going to hit the ground running as soon as they're drafted. Most players don't. You know, they need more seasoning. They need more time, practice. And, you see Ambry Thomas, Lenore, Aaron Banks, Trey Sermon. They need more seasoning. They need to actually play to get better. Not every player is just you draft him and, you get a Jamar Chase, the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver. Like he's having a hell of a year. Could win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Not all players are like that. Some players, it takes more time to learn the craft and be the best you can be. But yeah, I appreciate everyone tuning in to the stream tonight. I maybe will have a live stream tomorrow night. I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe I could bring on a guest. We'll see. But I appreciate everyone tuning in to the stream tonight. Let's see, Luke Luna. Let's see. Luke Luna says, let's not pretend Lance meant to throw those balls at the ground, making Jennings do the splits to catch. But I'll say this, Jennings' hands are super solid. He's a go-to guy when it counts in my book. I mean, we'll never really know unless Trey Lance answers that question specifically. Like, did you mean to throw it low to Jennings? Like, we'll never really know. I'll be optimistic, and I'll say he threw it there so Jennings could only catch it, because you could throw a ball in his chest, but maybe the defender would have a better chance at knocking the ball away. Or if you throw it low, then Jennings is the only player to get that, to have a chance to catch the ball. So I'm going to be optimistic and think of it that way. But hey, I think it was a pretty good performance for only playing 2 games in 2 years. And hey, we'll take it. We'll take it, the game as it is. I was glad to see him out there, glad to see him throw. I think the 49ers future, I think we can all agree. I know we might disagree on Jimmy and Trey or whatever, but there's no doubt the 49ers future is bright. I think we can definitely all agree on that. And that's how I will end this show. The 49ers future is definitely bright with the man behind me right here. And I think this franchise is in good hands. And hopefully everyone have a great rest of your Sunday night. 49ers beat the Texans 23-7. Looking forward to next week's game against the LA Rams. I will have a live stream with Payo Time, an LA Rams fan, next Thursday night. The thumbnail should already be up. Check it out. And let's see. I think I have one more comment from Double L. He says, I'll take a win from Lance. Don't care how it looks as long as we're ahead by 1 at the end. Hey, I agree with your sentiments, man. I agree with you. I agree with you. SG says, go Lance. You'll be the future quarterback in 2022. We'll see what happens, because if Jimmy can't go, Lance is going to get his second consecutive start. So we'll see. But everyone have a great rest of your night. I appreciate all the comments. Appreciate all the the feedback. I enjoy doing the show, especially when there's people in the chat who want to hear me talk about the Niners, and I love hearing you guys' opinion as well. Shout out for the super stickers from Luke Luna, Blue True, Travis Berg. I appreciate it. And everyone have a great rest of your night, and thanks for watching your boy Jay in the Bay. And I'll see you guys In the next one, go Niners. Roberto says an ugly win, but a win. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Win is a win. Appreciate you for coming through, Roberto. I'm heading out.